Good evening and welcome to the Radical Sim Racing Endurance Live from Fuji. I am James Parfitt and I'll be guiding you through all the action tonight with the one and only Daan Pepels in the booth with me this evening as well. So look out for this. This is going to be absolutely incredible. And we are live here from Fuji in Japan once again. And let's take a look at this amazing circuit again, given to us by the guys at simracingcommunity.com. Go and check them out there, guys, as well, please. Length of the track, 4.563 kilometers, 2.835 miles. Broke ground and opened in 1965. Current major events, the FIA WEC, GT World Challenge Asia, the Super GT Super Formula, and the FRJC as well. Formula 1, it hosted back in 1976 to 1977, and then 2007 to 2008. It also hosted the Asian Le Mans Series as well, and currently this is the fourth configuration of the circuit. There's been 4 variations of this circuit before, so what more can you ask for apart from absolutely incredible racing? We have got 14 corners here this evening as well, and it's going to be in for one heck of a race. And let's bring in Daan Pepels into the booth. Dan, good evening. How are you, sir?
It was, like you just said, with the FIA World Endurance Championship. But yeah, this is a track, well, close to my heart. It is absolutely amazing. I learned to actually race on here. It was the first track I encountered. Not, I have to say, the easiest one to start on. But yeah, between the hills, the last sector goes uphill quite a lot to that start-finish straight. But yeah, should be an amazing track for these radicals to show their pace around.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to be an exciting thing this evening as well, because it's just going to be absolutely incredible. You know, I think overall the racing is going to be absolutely amazing. And we've got 22 cars on track tonight, resulting in AMs and pros. And what we can do, guys, is have a look at the championship as it currently stands in the pros. The Pro Championship stands like this. Rudolf Nagel on 212 points. Mike Bousson on 175. Lucas Dozer on 125. Stephen Place on 124. David Walters on 120. Kettle Larson on 115. Paul Crabbe on 110. Daniel Sedgley on 104. Taylor Sattenberg on 85 in 9th. John McCutchinson in 10th on 82. Not here tonight. I believe he's watching the F1, as he's to put in chat. Do I listen to Crofty or myself? Well, there's only one choice, John. I'm young, you know, I'm the better one, so you should be listening to me there as well. Henning Haig in 11th, Paul Clark in 12th, Matheson in 13th, Marnik Heister in 14th, Dennis Kiriakopoulos 15th, Rafael Blanco 16th, and Ivan Bramer down in 17th place. Beyond that one, as well, we go into the AMS. And currently in the AMS, Paul LeMay is winning on 94 points. Byron Crawford in second on 66. Gary Truby third on 65. Damien G on 64. Colin Wynn on 56. And Guy Robinson on 54. David Rolliston there in 7th place on 45. Daniele Cascado on 42. Michael LeMay on 40. Alphonse Ruiz on 35. Sergio Capella on 33. Nia Gluskic on 24. Stefan Mellis on 18. And Marin Grigic on 17. Now in the Pro Team Championship, this is the current standings. Sim RC are in first place on 338. Team Redline in second on 317. Team Slowmo in third on 212. Tiger Team on 143. IGL Coatings on 114. Platinum Racing on 82. And Island Racing on 62. Now in the AMS, we have got BSR leading the way on 129. Two Brother Racing on 67. Made on 66. Tiger on 45, HRT on 35, MJX Racing Team on 17, and Essential Racing on 4 points. So that is the current standings here this evening. Have no fear, Milo is here. He's put in chat and welcoming Phil as always. Ivan Bramer, let's go there as well. So Ivan Bramer has joined us this evening. So what have we got lined up for you as we come up towards the end of practice? Well, one of the things we got lined up is a 90-minute endurance session. Okay, so we've got 30 minutes of open qualifying, 90-minute race this evening as well. So we've got 90 minutes here of absolute incredible racing. There is one fast repair. There is no regulations on pit stops. The setups are open as well. This race start will be standing, and the incident limit is a drive through every 15 incidents. So they do have a fair amount of incidents to play with, but as I saw the other night in a race that I was doing, that can be used up very, very quickly. So we're here at Fuji on October the 30th. Then we go to Autodromo Nazionale Monza on November the 13th. And then after that, we will be breaking and going into the second part of the season after that one as well. Dan, you know, I know certain people aren't here. John McCutcheons is not here. He doesn't like the track combination. He did express that in Discord the other day quite, how can I put it, quite vibrantly, that basically he didn't like it. So it's no surprise that he's not here for the 90-minute race as well. Rudolf Nagel is here, Lucas Dozer's here, Mike Bousson, Daniel Sedgley, David Walters. So the guys up the top end of the time in the championship are here, Dan. You know, what are we expecting? Because last time out at Watkins, it was quite an interesting race, really.
Well, I think last time out at Watkins Glen was characterized by the chicane of death. When they went into the chicane at Watkins Glen, I think we've had at the end, what was it, 14 drivers that were, or 14 times someone was taken out by that chicane. So yeah, that was basically characterized by that. But yeah, this is an amazing track, and I think especially down that long straight, that will provide some absolutely amazing slipstream for the driver. So that should keep the racing quite close, to be honest.
Yeah, it should do, and hopefully we should be in for an absolute treat, as we see here the boss man, Sandro Capella, driving down that long straightaway currently at the moment. What we'll do, jump on board with Sandro and have a look at this lap here as we go down into turn one. Currently down in second gear, we're going to be hard on the accelerator. Up through the gears we go into fourth, and then we're going to be looking for the left-hander at the top here as well. We're going to look at getting the car pointed up. On we go to the gas, and then we're going around 100R. This long right-hander with no fixed line. Whatever line works for you, you can go very quick round it. And here we go, dropping into turn 6, which is the hairpin. Down into second gear we go now, 62 miles an hour off on the accelerator. Running up this long run around 6, 7, 8 and 9 before we come down into the tricky turn 10 at the bottom. It's going to be the right-left chicane here now. So it goes all the way down into second gear. Is he going to take first? No, he didn't. Around second we go, and on the exit now of turn 10 up to turn 11. Blind right-hander, you've got to look for the post and aim the car at it. And then we're going to go round 12 and 13. Again, a long looping left-hander. Down we go into second gear with Sandro Capella. And now we're going to run up into 14. Again, we're going to be taking a nice wide exit here on the right-hand side. He's a little bit far away from the apex, which is going to slow him on the exit. And that, unfortunately, what can happen there when you do not get that car correct. And here we go now on that long run down into the start-finish straight. And that's a nice lap of Sandro Capella there, currently on a 1:35.19. See what time he gets as he goes across the board. Has there been an improvement? No, not this time around from Sandro. The lap itself is quite tricky, isn't it, here, Dan? Because there's a lot to sort of, they've got to take on board here. You know what I mean? It's been perceived as not the most exciting track. The racing on Friday from the World Cups were full of excitement up and down as well. There's people going off there, and it had everything. So, are we expecting that this evening, do you think?
Well, always when we go to Japan, we go to Suzuka or this track, Fuji. I can't really take to my mind now any other tracks that I go to in Japan that, at least with this Radical. But yeah, the track is fast, it's flowing. Then you get to that slow last sector where there are left-right turns basically uphill. You have this little chicane here in the middle. It's a difficult one. Once you get the flow through this last sector, as we get to the end of practice now, you kind of get taken out of that flow once again. Once you move down the long straight, and you have one corner and then another straight. So yeah, it's a difficult track to get in your flow, but once you are into it, and man, this is an absolutely amazing track to drive around. And the racing, like you said, is absolutely amazing here as well with the Radicals.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough one for these drivers tonight as well. I don't think they're going to have a completely free reign here tonight. You know, whether or not we start seeing cars getting lapping, as it's going to be something to see there. We've dropped out of the 30 minutes. We're now into the 10-minute qualifying session there for this one. I think these drivers have got to kind of, you know, try hard and go hard from the beginning, because I think if they hang around, there's a big possibility that they will not progress any further. And I think all these guys have got to make their way up through the grid. Oh, as we see Rudolf Nagel there getting it completely wrong into turn 10 there. He is human after all, and he's just proven that. So that's absolutely amazing. But I think, you know, there's a lot to take on board. A lot to take on board. John McHutchison in chat. No, Dan, it's boring. That's why he's not here.
Okay. Well, we definitely have different opinions then.
Yeah, he doesn't like it.
It might be just the nostalgia around this track for me, but also, well, the slipstreaming in the first sector keeps it closed, and the second sector is a really tricky and technical one. So it kind of has everything, but it's a little bit too stretched out maybe in terms of how the track is shaped. Well, let's just say that every time we go to Japan, at least I've been here on the JP Broadcasting channel, and every time we've gone to Japan, the racing has been amazing. So I don't think it's going to be any different here this time.
No. To be honest, I don't think it will be. I just think John just literally does not like this circuit. Some people, as we say, some people don't mind this circuit. Other people find it, as John has done, completely boring. I think
all
it's
of our
just
tracks that we don't like, you know?
Yeah, I think it's just really a mix of opinions. There, as I say, I'm not surprised John's not here tonight. You know, he's obviously sat at home chilling, watching the Grand Prix, which is a fair one. But everybody, as I say, everybody has their difference of opinions. It's just John just doesn't like this circuit. There we go.
And I think everyone, everyone is of course allowed to have their own opinion, and I don't like certain other tracks to kind of race on myself. So I think that's a very fair point that he has there. But also, why wouldn't you be watching F1? The only reason why you wouldn't be watching F1 is because this is amazing racing. But as we know, F1 takes a lot of people's priority sometimes, especially when you're a racer. It's the pinnacle of motorsports.
Yeah, but is it as exciting as listening to me and you in the booth? That's the question.
Well, you could listen to me and you at the same time you're watching the F1 Grand Prix. You just have to turn the volume from the Grand Prix all the way down and turn us all the way up. So you can listen to us and watch the Grand Prix. It is going to be a bit confusing, I have to tell you that. But yeah, you could do it both if you would want to.
Well, you could do, but our commentary isn't going to match what's going on the F1.
No, that's what I was going to say. It is a little bit confusing.
Watching and listening to both, says John. He's multitasking. Go on there, John. Henning Haig, F1 is boring. He's going to start a battle there, as we can see Daniel Sedgley go into pole position. Currently at this moment, Lucas Doza is currently setting the time in Towers of Light. He's purple in Sector 1. What is he going to be able to do? Oh, he's running deep. Yeah, he's deep. He's not going to improve on Sector 2. Sandro Capella goes up into 6th place in the AMS. And Michael LeMay is purple in Sector 2. Michael there having an absolutely flyer, as is his brother. So the LeMay brothers there really got the bit between their teeth this evening. So it should be interesting to see how they finish off.
Yeah. Well, I think, James, just first and foremost, I think we have to say a big thank you to everyone who is here with us instead of watching that Formula 1 GP, because I think, James, we can both agree on the fact that there are about, I don't know how many million people watching F1, and there are just about maybe 20, 30 people watching this. So it is maybe the logic choice for you to go, well, F1.
Right. Larson's just gone into pole, though, on a 1:33.52. So, you know, you can't miss this. Damien G is purple in Sector 2, currently third in the AMS altogether as he's going to be coming across the line. So let's see what Damien G can do. Sedgley here has got 2 purples as well, fastest of the pros. Damien G goes up into second place. Daniel Sedgley, he's going to come across the line and take pole on a 1:33.29. Pole position in the AMS is held by David Rolliston on a 1:34.24, and in the pros it's Daniel Sedgley on a 1:33.29. Commentary on F1 in Holland is usually better off. Better off. Oh, so it's better turned off. So in other words, they're shocking. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't like F1. I find it boring and love these races, but it's a matter of opinion, says Phil. True. Very true. I think F1 is a battle of 2 stages, right? And I say that in the nicest possible way as we pick up Michael LeMay's green across 2 boards at the moment. And it's, you watch the start, and then normally what happens is you watch the start while you're eating your Sunday roast dinner, right? Then you go and sit on the sofa, and at lap 20, you fall asleep, right?
Yeah.
And then you wake up, say it's a 60-lap race, you wake up on lap 50, and then watch the last 10 laps because that's the most exciting bit. The bit in the middle is boring. The bit I'm an F1 fan, but the bit in the middle is boring, and I find it really quite depressing to sit and watch the middle bit of F1. I find it really, to be honest, nothing exciting happens, and you end up sleeping anyway. So Dennis Kiriakopoulos is coming across the line. You may not be sleeping now because it is quite late, mind you, in the day to be holding an F1, but then again, that is set considering where it is set. But I think that's the situation with F1. The beginning is exciting, the middle is boring, the end is exciting. That's it. That's how it works out.
Well, James, a question to you and to the viewers then. Do you feel different when you watch endurance races like a 24-hour of Le Mans? Are you like, I'm watching the start and I'm watching the end?
Yeah, I won't watch I very rarely, and I'll be honest with you now, apart from F1 and the British Touring Car, I very rarely watch endurance races. I find endurance races incredibly boring to sit and watch. Nothing happens. The commentators are just droning, and I find it really depressing. And I won't sit and watch an endurance race. But I will go online, and if somebody's broadcasting a 40-minute or an hour ESS in iRacing, I'll sit and watch it because it's exciting. But a 24-hour endurance race, I might as well just sleep. I'm a lot more better off, to be honest.
Well, for me, I love watching strategies play out. I don't know if other people feel the same, but I like it when I watch a race and I can kind of think about the strategy as well. At endurance races, most of the time with safety cars just changing strategy all the time and things like that, I find really exciting. So yeah, I don't usually fall asleep, as Daniel said, she's lighting up the timing screens with all purple times, the number 15 coming across the line in just about a second time right about now. What is he going to do? He is in pole position at the moment. He's going to improve his time. Yes, he is, too. Almost 3/10 of a gap now onto a 1:33.026. But yeah, I never usually fall asleep during F1 because I'm used to races that are quite boring in the middle. Apart, I have to say, James, from the early races in the season, like Australia, when they are at 7 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that I'll fall asleep all the time. I'm just saying most of the time I will fall asleep because the middle part for me is boring. Or I'll get, I don't know, the missus will give me jobs to do. I'll go and put up a shelf or something. I don't know why this is all happening. But Henning Egg said James is speaking the truth. So, you know, if Henning agrees with me, then I'm completely correct.
Okay, then.
That's all that matters. Henning is the voice, so, you know, whatever happens. And if Henning says James is right, James is right.
Okay.
All right.
Well, then I agree with that.
Yeah, you should agree with it as well, because I do find the middle of F1 really quite boring. And especially if we're at a track like Monaco. I love the Monaco circuit, but boy, oh boy, single line racing through there just makes me want to sleep. It's just like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's ending. Hold on, let's watch the last bit of it. So there we go, that is qualifying over and done with, guys. Here are the results now from qualifying as we bring you up the grid with Dan Pepels.
Well then, in pole position starting now is Daniel Sessions on a 133.026. Rudolf Nagel is starting second, almost 3 tenths behind him. Behind that, though, it's Kettle Larsen. Sveinung Madsen in P4, Mike Buson P5, Lucas Dolzer P6, David Walters P7, Paul LeMay P8, Paul Clark P9. 10th is David Wollaston, Damien G in P11. 12th is Michael LeMay. Bear in mind, though, Paul LeMay pole position in the AM class. Damien G, like I said, in 11. Michael LeMay 12. 13th, Terje Settenhoek in P13. 14th, Graham Brown. 15th, Dennis Kiriakopoulos. 16th, Byron Crawford. 17th, Sandro Capeller. 18th, Guy Robertson. 19th, Gary Treby. 20th, Nihad Gluskik. And 21st, Stephen Mellis. 22nd, Stephen Place.
So there we go. Here we go. This is it.
James,
yes.
Any predictions on who you think is looking the strongest to win?
Daniel Sedgley in the pros, and Paul LeMay's back tonight. He missed Friday night. He got a second place in the race I did on Thursday, so he needed to lie down on the Friday. But I'm going to go Paul LeMay in the AMs. So Daniel Sedgley in the pros, Paul LeMay in the AMs.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with Rudolf Nagel in the pros and Damien G in the AMs.
Okay. Sedgley Nagel battles coming up, says Ivan Bramer. Let's get ready to rumble. I love that guy. Love that guy. I can't do the voice, but I absolutely love it. I can do the saying, but I can't do his voice that he does with it. It's incredible.
Try it.
Let's get ready to rumble! Oh, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are green here in Fuji. Daniel Sedgley got an absolute barnstorming start there with Rudolf Nagel in second, Matheson in third. Matheson's going to be going up the inside. Mike Buson up into 4th place. David Walters in 5th. Paul LeMay on the inside there. Got the inside line for the AMs and is now currently 6th overall. First in the AMs. No dramas at the beginning, and that's always good to see as we're on that run down to turn 3. Paul Clark is there as well in the mix. Dennis Kiriakopoulos and Michael LeMay. Damien G currently in 3rd in class, is currently sitting 10th overall, as is David Rolliston in 9th there. But at the moment, it is your leader, Daniel Sedgley, followed by Rudolf Nagel. Daan.
Well, a clean start, it seems like, for everyone. The biggest gainers at the moment seems to be Stephen Place up into 18th. And the one who lost the most positions is Sandro Capeller. As you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, actually lost 4 positions in total, 3 positions in the AM class. So he dropped down quite a bit, but Daniel Sedgley, at the moment, trying to create that second gap to get Rudolf Nagel out of that slipstream onto the front straight once again. Because that's going to be vital. Once he stays within that second, he can tow up behind him once again. And if Madsen can stay behind Nagel, he can tow with him as well.
Yeah, there we go. Hopefully it should stay nice and clean here as these guys go on to the start-finish straight. We've got David Walters here, the pro from the Tiger team, and we've got David Rolliston, the AM, in the Tiger team as well. And that's why, if you're wondering why they were on both team standings, that is why. So here we've got Paul LeMay tracking down Lucas Doze. There's no need for him to stay behind. It's going to be 3 wide. David Rolliston coming through the middle. Lucas Doze on the outside there, just got completely bullied out from David Walters. Oh, Lucas down the order. Lucas is going down the order, unfortunately. That involved Kettle Larsen, and them guys are dropping down now. Lucas Doze all the way down into 22nd place. Kettle Larsen in 11th. Got away with that one. And let's see how that one materialized here from the JPB chopper, who's flying around in Japan.
Initially, it looked like a little bit of a turn-in, I think. Lucas Dolson just didn't quite see him, I think. A late launch there, you can see. Just didn't expect him there, I think, and got the clear from his spotter. But yeah, that's a really unfortunate incident, and I don't think there is much to be avoided there, apart from just not turning in as much as he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Henning has put in chat, I want that ready to rumble scream every race. So there you go.
Well, there we go.
There we go. Absolutely incredible. Well, at least they liked it, I suppose. I told you, not overly great at it, but, you know, hopefully it worked all right for everyone. And as I say, if Henning Haig likes it, he's the voice. That's all that matters. So David Waters is 5th in class currently at the moment. Daniel Sedgley in 1st in the pros. Paul LeMay in the AMs. Paul LeMay, I'll tell you what, he's had a good week this week. He got 2nd the other day in a series I was watching. As I say, then he had a line down on the Friday because he missed a sprint race. And now he's back here for the endurance, and he's running 1st in class again, tracking down David Waters, the other member of Tiger Team, in the pro class. So overall, I think Paul LeMay is looking blissfully quick currently at the moment.
Yeah, he's liking this track, this Fuji circuit. At the moment, overall, James, in 6th position as an AM driver. So at the moment, on a roll is Paul LeMay. As I look a little bit further back to Terje Sattenhoek, at the moment in 16th overall, chasing down Byron Crawford ahead of him. He's at the moment, well, 3/10 ahead of him, but an unlucky start, I think, for Terje Sattenhoek, once again down 3 positions.
Yeah, Terje dropping down the order. Unfortunately, he's now mixing it up in the pros as the AM all the way down in 10th in class, 16th overall, chasing down Graham Brown and Byron Crawford. And then Stephen Place is the biggest beneficiary at the moment. He's up 9 over all places, so that means he's up over all places. Daniel Sedgley is done and dusted, I think. He's got a 2-second gap already over Rudolf Nagel. Matheson is behind that in 3rd. Mike Bousson in 4th. David Waters 5th. Paul LeMay and David Rolliston in 6th and 7th. Damien G in 8th. Paul Clark here being chased down by Dennis Kiriakopoulos. Don't forget Paul Clark from iLounge Racing. He is one of the main sponsors this evening as well, so you can go check him out, iLoungeRacing.co.uk. There for all your sim racing needs. Sim rigs are plenty for them guys, taking out the hassle of buying a sim rig for you. They make it nice and easy. They come deliver it and fit it, but unfortunately for Paul Clark, he's just lost 2 places to Kettle Larson and Dennis Kiriakopoulos. So please go check out iLoungeRacing.co.uk there this evening. Byron Crawford is trying to make this move up the inside of Graham Brown. Terje Sattenhoek not really got any place to go from slow-mo. He's got to wait. They've got 2 cars wide already down. There's really no place for him to go, and at this moment in time, he's just got to sit there and hold his nerve patiently as they come around 100R.
Well, what a corner this is, this 100R. It goes on for so long. In real life, it would be quite, well, difficult for your neck to keep up with if you had to do it for 90 minutes long. But yeah, James, what are we expecting in terms of strategy around this Fuji circuit this evening?
Pit stops in the politest possible way. Sandro Capella, Stefan Mellis have been involved in their own little set to do here. As you can see, Stefan Mellis in front, Sandro Capella behind. What happened here? Did Stefan just lock up and in the incoming Sandro Capella? Nope, got a bit of a blind, busy exit there, and I believe Sandro does have his own little spat a little bit further up. He's gone round there. So we missed Sandro's, but I think this is what happened to him. Because there is Stefan Mellis in front of us. Sandro is currently behind. So Sandro Capella, goes up on the left-hand side, just misses. Yeah, that was Lucas Dozer, I believe, behind him as well. So unfortunately for Sandro, he's running on the grass there and gone and ghosted. I think overall, right, what should happen is obviously we're going to definitely have 1 pit stop. Now, in that situation is whether or not they're going to take tyres. That's going to be the big thing. Now, we think Rudolf Nagel might not take tyres. We think, obviously, there are possibly a few others that might not. But I think the majority probably should have a go with tyres, because I think they need to, but I just can't guarantee that they're going to take tyres. It is really hit and miss, I think. I think if John McHutchison's in chat, he'll be able to tell you whether or not they're going to be really looking to take tyres.
Well, as we know, John McHutchison is normally the one with one of those crazy strategies around, so I don't know if we can take for granted exactly what he says, because usually he's the only one who does that strategy.
Yeah. And normally everybody else is amazed at what he's done. The only thing I find this season, though, is John's had a proper, speaking in pure Queen's English there, proper rough time of it this season. I don't think that it's been the season that John expected from last year. I think this year the class of field has grown. The quality of the drivers have got better and better and better. We've got the likes of Daniel Sedgley, Rudolf Nagel, Matheson in here now as well. And John's had a bit of a rough up and down, and he's not here tonight. We know that. He's in YouTube chat. Run them till they fall off, says John, so no tyres there. But I think overall, you know, it's not been as kind of probably as straightforward as John was expecting. You know, I know some of the guys are really, really quick, and I think from John's point of view, you know, he's had a bit of a rough season. I'm sure he'll bounce back stronger, but we'll just have to see there from John McCutcheon what he does as the season goes on. I'm expecting big things, John, so if you are listening, get out practicing, son. Here is Stephen Place with Paul Clark right behind him as well. Dennis Kiriakopoulos has got Kettle Larson for company as they chase down the AM of Damien G. The AMs are in 6th, 7th, 8th. And then we've got 13th, 14th, 15th there as well. So they're well in the mix of the pros currently at the moment. Daan as well, doing a great job.
Yeah, the AM's doing a great job in the overall standings as well, especially Paul Lemay. I have to kind of point that out once again. Up into P6 overall. That's when you look at a field this stacked with all those pros, Kettle Larson, Stephen Place, Paul Clark. Not a place that you can take for granted here.
No.
As an AM driver.
No, definitely not, because at the end of the day, you're there where you are on merit, right? That's the end of it. May, Rolliston and G, they all got flying starts, and they've kept it safe and, you know, done the job. But they have got the ever-looming Dennis Kiriakopoulos and Kettle Larson. Larson was obviously involved in the incident at the beginning. So he's coming back through the field with being involved with Lucas Dozer. So I think from Kettle's point of view, he's got to try and clear these guys as soon as possible to get back to where he even remotely should be. And he's looking at going up the inside of Dennis Kiriakopoulos. Doesn't make it work this time around. But I think for Dennis, he's got to be trying to climb and use Damien G, because it's almost like, well, without G in front of me, you know, he's not going to be picking up the drive going down that big long straight. Yeah. John's in chat, said he's a second half player. Let's see what happens here, John, as well, because you are dropping back down the standings at the moment. Obviously, you know, it's a tough one when you're not here.
Well, I always, if you're racing a championship, there are always, oh, that's a good move from Kettle Larson, the old switcheroo. But if there are tracks that you don't particularly like, I would say in a championship, you kind of have to take them on the chin and do them. So I think that's where John is now losing out in terms of points.
Well, they do have drop weeks, so, you know, you can take it as a drop week, I suppose, from his perspective. So, you know, it's an option. There's two drop weeks will be applied. So they got 2 drop weeks. Kettle Larson's going to get this job done over Damien G here as he goes on the right-hand side now. Kettle Larson is going to be looking at moving through the field and is now up into 8th place. I'm going to say that because I'm expecting him to make that move down into turn 1. I'm not expecting Damien G to put a massive amount of effort trying to fight this one. Different classes, really no need for Damien G. He doesn't. But at the back, Byron Crawford, Michael Lemay and Graham Brown there. Michael Lemay looking at diving up the inside into turn 1 on Byron Crawford. A big lump of room left. The door was open. Michael, you know, come on, come on, come on.
Can he do it?
No, he's not going to do it this time.
Not quite. Well, he can carry it around the outside if he wants to, but that could be a tricky one. That will give him the inside for the long right-hander. But yeah, for 100R, that's you don't want to go through there side by side because someone has got to bail at some point.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You've got to look and pick your fights, right? It's not risk it for a biscuit and hope for the best, because at the end of the day, that's not how you want to be. You want to pick your fights in a way that you're going to successfully come through them. And, you know, Michael Lemay there has got to pick his fight successfully, as is Teo Satano, because Teo's been sat behind him for a while now and is still sat behind him. So he's got to be looking at trying to move up the field as well, and he needs to get on par with the likes of Paul Clark, because at the moment for Teo, he's got Lucas Dozer closing back up. So he doesn't really want to lose any more time, but he's got to be trying to play it sensibly, and I think that's going to be the hardest thing. I think from Teo's point of view, I'd be looking at taking Graham Brown down on this lap and trying to take Michael Lemay on the next one if I can.
You have to kind of play it tactically though, James, because it isn't going to be easy for him to do so. He is going to have to work his way through. The guys ahead of him will have slipstream as well if he now pulls out. He will kind of drive into a wall because the man alongside him, of course, side drafting is a thing, but the man alongside him now has slipstream as well. That side drafting keeping him alongside. But I don't think he's going to get any further than that, so he's going to have to make that launch, and not quite able to do so, it seems like, into turn 1 now.
Yeah.
Although he does come back towards the apex.
Yeah, he does. He's cutting back in. Graham Brown's trying to squeeze him against the grass at the moment. They're going to be running too wide as they come around Coca-Cola corner for turn 3. Teo sat back. Allowed Graham Brown to go through, and obviously Teo looking at making that move again in the inside of turn 6, round 100. We go. Can Teo hang it around the outside? He's not going to be able to do it this time around, and he's got to look again at being there for another lap, and that's the so annoying thing here, because he needed to clear him. Look at Lucas Dozer. Dozer behind is closing every single lap over these guys, and is constantly pulling them in. And unfortunately for Teo, he cannot clear Graham Brown enough to give him that run, and he needs to.
Well, the thing with him is, he needs to kind of clear him as fast as possible in order to kind of make that run up the field where he was before. And with everyone having that slipstream, like I just said, it's going to be difficult, especially down that long straight. And it's not going to be a given that it's going to happen easily.
No, but look, Dozer's got to run now. He's not going to be hanging around anymore. Dozer here, right behind Teo. Teo's got to stay on the inside line. I'm surprised Dozer's not tucked more in behind him, to be honest. I think he would have been right behind him. He might have made that move. Teo's either got a lunge or he's just got to go for it, and he's not going for it. As we can see, Lucas Dozer trying to run him around the outside there. Lucas is going to get this job done, I believe, possibly as well. If he hadn't run wide, I think it's going to be side by side on that run round the Coca-Cola corner. Lucas Dozer on the inside, now off turn 3, and that's another place lost for Teo Satanuk. Should have made that move over Graham Brown. He needed to get that move done.
Well, it looked like he was quicker, but well, you just gotta work your way through the field slowly, because you don't want to push it and push someone off track, damage your own car. Because keep in mind, James, there is still 1 hour and 15 minutes kind of left. So still a lot of time, still a lot of things that can happen ahead of you. You do have time to make those moves. The only thing now for Mike is that the longer he's gonna have to do over this move, or the longer this move is going to take for him, the more time he is going to lose.
Yep, and he's got David Waters behind him. So Buson's in kind of that same situation as Teo Satanagos. He's got to make the move. The difference from Teo is he got passed by Lucas Dozer. He also got past, didn't get past Graham Brown. Has now got David Rolliston 2.5 seconds back there as well. Kettle Larson has just cleared David Rolliston down into turn 1. Stephen Place has just got Damien G down into turn 1. And now we've got these run of 3 with Lucas Dozer, Graham Brown, and also Michael LeMay. Michael LeMay looks like he's holding on a little bit longer here, but Graham Brown has got Lucas Dozer right up beside him into turn 1. Lucas is trying that switchback that he pulled on Teo. Nothing happening there, and Lucas Dozer is going to have to wait another lap, I think, before he can look at making his move, unless he's going to be so brave on the brakes. I think he's going to have to sit there patiently.
Well, James, I think the thing is, he's got to take his time with it. Like I said, you cannot push it, and I think working towards the stops as well. Maybe trying to overtake him with a little bit of an undercut, going into the pits earlier if you know you have the pace. And then the second thing is, does he have the pace in the end to, when he is ahead, pull away? He's going to try and make the move around the outside of Graham Brown now. They'll give him the inside for the second part, and he makes that move stick. Now behind him though, Lucas trying to come back to Satnuk, trying to lift with him, but not quite able to make that move stick. Yeah,
absolutely stunning job there from Lucas Dozer. David Rolliston, Dennis Kiriakopoulos. Dennis coming through the order. He's up 6 places at the moment. Stephen Place behind him, up 12. He's got Damien G tucked up right behind him, using him for like a draft. And this is going to be Dennis Kiriakopoulos through, I believe, down into turn 1. I don't think Rollo's going to be able to hang him around the outside too much. He looks a little bit far back. And that is Dennis Kiriakopoulos through. Stephen Place held on to his place from Damien G. Graham Brown has now been passed by Taya. Taya now up into 16th place. That's something he needed to do at least 3 or 4 laps ago. And I think now it's going to be whether or not Dozer can pull Statnerg onto the back of LeMay, and these guys can start moving through the field together. So let's see how this one pans out. Good to see Dennis find its speed here. Yep, Dennis Kiriakopoulos has got some speed underneath him at the moment. His best time currently at 1:34.5. Last lap out 1:36.02. So he was a little bit slower than his best lap time at the moment. But Rudolf Nagel is trying to pull away from Matheson, and Matheson is trying to get away in turn from the ever-closing Mike Bousson. So there's a lot going on here, and you can see just here what kind of thing these guys have got to deal with. You know, this long straightaway, Dan, is horrendously long. If it was in my town would be up the left, and the next town would be up down into turn 1. My town's not very big, and this kind of is where it would fit. And look at it, we're still going, and now we're slowing down after about a mile run. Oh, Matheson's got in deep there. That's going to allow Bousson to close right up behind him. Sven Young Matheson in 3rd place in the Pro currently, and May in the AMs. So yeah, Lucas Dozer and Taya Satanag now. Taya is not looking at pulling in behind the draft. He's going to go and send it 3 wide. LeMay, Dozer and Taya on the right hand side down into turn 1. How is this going to happen? Dozer clears LeMay. Taya does not clear LeMay. But what we said happened, Dan, is Taya used Dozer to pull him up to LeMay, and Dozer did just that.
Well, a very good job done by Taya Satin. Now is going to try and pass LeMay and try and maybe move with Dozer again. But Dozer is getting away, so he's going to have to make that move quickly. Otherwise, he is going to...
He is going to, and Dan has gone on mute for a minute there, guys. We did hear the click there, so something has gone on with Dan's mic. Hopefully, we'll be back ready to be able to sort that issue out. Hopefully as well, because there was a click in the mic and it did just cut off straight away. So Matheson and Bousson now running down turn 1. Can Matheson keep it from Bousson? If he's going to go anyway, he's got to go on the inside line. Bousson's got to just kind of all in one go, send it almost purely Verstappen style. And Bousson looks at making that move past Matheson. So Bousson is through and up. Dan, are you back? Still no Dan Peoples currently at the moment. He's dealing with his tech issues that he's got currently there in the Netherlands. So hopefully we will see Dan again before, or hear Dan again before the end of the race. I say very optimistically there, Dan. So when you are here, please let me know before you cut straight in. Okay, well, it's longer than that. Then the problems with his microphone. He says his internet. How's it gone? So Dan Peoples has lost the internet. So there we go. So for the next hour and 8 minutes, guys, you'll hear me and just only me here in the booth, unless Dan's internet pops back on and he can get going again. So I'm just trying to communicate with him and seeing if that helps. But Stephen Place all over the back of David Rolliston now. Stephen up currently 12 places as he's going down now behind David Rolliston. He's going to pick up that draft and lead all the way down. Can Place do it this time? Can he get this job done as he's closing all the way at the moment? Oh, closing. Pulls out on the right-hand side. A massive overspeed there from Stephen Place. Is he going to make this stick? He does, and that is Stephen Place through. I've got to be honest, Stephen Place is having a stellar race so far. I'm going to presume you're on your phone there, Dan. Otherwise, how are you talking to me? So let's hope that is what he's on. And Stephen Place is up into 8th. He's currently the highest gainer on track, up 13 places. So Mike Buson did clear Sven-Young Matheson. And that was down into turn 1 there as well. Mike goes in and Sven-Young just leaves the door wide open. And Mike goes through. So much love there to Mike Buson. He is now up into 3rd place. David Rolliston is trying to come back at Stephen Place. Not entirely sure if that's going to be physically possible. Gary Truby is battling down with Stefan Malice and Sandro Capella here as well with 1 hour 6 on the clock. Walters and Matheson now. These guys are going side by side down into turn 1. David Walters. Oh! Well, that was as close as it could be from Sven-Young there. Going around now on that run down into turn 3. The left-hander of Coca-Cola Corner. Then we've got the run around 100R. And round he goes. David Walters there took the place from Team Slow-Mo's Matheson. And David Walters is now up into 4th place overall. Sven-Young in there in 5th. Rollo still trying to chase down Stephen Place. Stephen Place is currently in 9th overall. Obviously takes part in the sprint for the Americas. So for Team Radline with John McHutchison, Mike Buson. Is that it? Have I missed anyone? Matheson has been round, I believe, his signal that he's had an incident. We can have a look back and see what actually happened to Sven-Young here. This is going down on the right hand on that run down into turn 10. Does he look up, lock up and just goes, oh no! Well, unfortunately Sven-Young, that's not going to work, and he's lost a place to Kettle Larson. However, on the upside, he managed to avoid David Rolliston. So let's have a look back on the roll bar in the cockpit with Sven-Young Matheson here as he's going around turn 10. Looks like he just completely misses his braking point. He wants to start braking about now. Whoa! Too much speed there for Sven-Young, and unfortunately drops down the order. Rolliston is now looking at having Damien G on the inside there. G gets past David Rolliston as well. So Rolliston up into 2nd, locks the 3rd in the class, locks up a big puff of smoke, and G is up into 2nd. LeMay is in 1st overall in the pros. You can see on the top part of your screen there as well. Sedgley is the pro leader, and the AMS is Michael LeMay. So Stefan Mellis is still having this battle with Gary Truby. The guys at BSR are flying in the team standings currently. They're at the top of the screen, up at the top of the championship. So they're doing an absolutely stellar job in the teams. But Paul Sven-Young, not good so far. Right. Here we go again. Currently on lap 17, and we've got an hour 3 left on the clock. This is one of your closest battles here with Sandro Capella, Stefan Mellis, and Gary Truby. So Mellis is looking a bit of a menace. Get it? Mellis? Never mind. Oh, he's dived on the inside of Truby. Truby's left him room. Mellis is trying to go up the around the outside. He's jeopardised him for Capella, and he manages to come along and stay in that 20th position overall here in the AMS, 9th in class. Right. Okay, guys, we've got about another couple of laps just to tell me who you think would be your winner here tonight. Kind of a split. Sedgley's on 50% of the votes. So Daniel Sedgley there seems to be the main protagonist for this evening. So fair play to Daniel Sedgley taking 50% of the votes here this evening. But you'll have another couple of laps and then that one will be finished. So by the time we get to lap 20, the poll will end. And your final finishing there will be, your final finishing vote positions will be where they finish. And at the moment it is Daniel Sedgley out in front. So there you go. Stefan Mellis passed Sandro Capella, past Gary Truby. And this is how this one took place. Down into turn one, Mellis comes in a long way. Such a long way, forces his way through, and Gary Truby spots him and lets him through. Unfortunately for Truby, he's now got Sandro Capella tucked up right behind him, and that's going to take time for Capella to try and get past him here. So Sandro Capella here with Gary Truby right behind him. Don't forget, guys, as well, you can drop the messages in chat. We will respond and we can have a bit of a conflab about what's happening. Daniel Sedgley is just, well, he's just in a different time zone, to be honest, at the moment. He's absolutely flying along in first place there, doing an absolute stellar job. So, yeah, I think from Daniel Sedgley's point of view, he's just got to kind of keep it on track, and hopefully his internet will work as well, because that's never good. As we're looking at him, his internet is getting a little bit spotty. So he has got to try and pay a little bit close attention to his internet, but I'm sure that he will get that sorted out as we go down into Rudolf Nagel. Nagel now is also sitting in second place. He's got a long way to go as well here to try and catch up with Sedgley. I'm not going to say he will, and I'm not going to say he won't, but there's a lot to do. You know what I mean, for Blanco. There's a lot to do for this 30-year-old here, for currently been iRacing since 2020. Favorite simulator is iRacing, the biggest inspiration in motorsport, David Coulthard and Lewis Hamilton. David Coulthard not come up very often on these forums. And also, you know, something that we don't really necessarily hear there. Coulthard has obviously gone into the booth with Alex Jacques, and I think Alex Jacques is just absolutely incredible from a commentator's point of view. Here, it's well doing the F1. I think Alex is just absolutely outstanding. But David Coulthard got into the booth, and I think what David adds to that is the experience and the tech know-how that him and Mark Webber bring to the box. I think that's the important thing. They've got Jacques, who's a very much play-by-play guy like myself, constantly talking. You know, we go home and we put peas on the side of our face, we spoke that much. Whereas he's got the experience of David Coulthard and the experience of, obviously, Mark Webber beside him. So he can bounce off them for anything he doesn't know. Not that Alex Jacques doesn't know a lot, because there's a lot that he does know, don't get me wrong, and Alex Jacques pretty much knows pretty much everything. But the fact that that's where he is at the pinnacle of F1 commentating, the guy must know something. We see Dozer here trying to climb over the back of Byron Crawford, and I think Dozer's going to be wanting to anxiously get past him as soon as physically possible here tonight. Dozer's got to be looking at trying to make this move down into turn one, I feel. He's got the locked up right behind him currently, 3 tenths back. Here we go. Can this be Dozer's move over currently Byron Crawford? Closing, it's closing, it's closing, it's closing. Is he going to make it down into turn one? He's not. Is Taylor going to make this one? I think he's too far back over Brown. Brown takes that inside line. That's the question. I think what we should ask now is whether or not we feel that you would you fight with the people in front of you if you're in a different class? Would you fight them? Let me know in chat if you would fight them. You know, let's see what responses we can get here this evening and see whether or not you would fight the people in front with who are not in your same class, as Dozer and currently Byron Crawford are doing. Well, we're within it. That's the thing. They're well within their right to be fighting you, because at the end of the day, you're fighting for position. Whether or not it's worth it, that bodes a different question altogether, doesn't it? It's really a toss-up game between whether or not you kind of need to, you want to, or whether or not you really have to, because it's in a different class. It's not going to affect you. The only thing that might affect you is basically if you take each other out, that's going to affect you. So I think Dozer's going to have another go here as with this evening on lap 22 with 56 minutes on the clock. Right. Daan is still waiting for his internet to kick back in. And we're sat here chilling out with Lucas Dozer, who got past Byron Crawford finally on that one. And we're going to have a look back and see how that one materialised here down into turn one. Job done for Lucas Dozer. And onwards and upwards he goes into his next run, which is going to be Paul Clark. Michael LeMay here and Taya Satner. Taya just past Michael. So Taya is through Sandra Capella and Gary Truby. These guys are running down into turn one. Capella on the left-hand side. Truby from BSR on the right. He is... Oh, Capella's gone round. And now drop behind the team Made of Niad Gluskik. So unfortunately there he dropped round. Sven Young has got Dennis Kiriakopoulos right behind him at the moment. Dennis has pulled out now down into turn one. Is this going to be another position loss for Mapperson? It is. Kiriakopoulos goes through and takes that current 6th place overall. So this first half for Mapperson has not been great. It's not been great. He's down 3 places where he should be on his grid position. And unfortunately, he's just made another error there by running wide. So not great for Mapperson in the first part of this race. Let's see how this one pans out. Paul Clark, however, has got Lucas Dozer now climbing up the back end of him and is looking at closing. All the while, these guys go running 100 are there. Paul Clark's taking a different line. Dozer hugs that inside line, is now literally 3 temps back as these guys go round turn 6 on this run down through to 7, 8 and 9. Can this going to be Dozer's move down into 10, or is he going to hold off? Sensibly, he should, in theory, hold off. That's what I would do, sensibly wait. But, you know, he is a racing driver overall. And it depends on what he wants to do. As we can see here, there are the lap times from Lucas Dozer and Paul Clark. Clark has been slower across the last 4 laps. So, unfortunately for him, he's really under the cosh. So, Dozer's on a mission, yeah. Well, to be fair, he spun out at the beginning, didn't he? And he kind of wouldn't really need that. So, Paul Clark on the left-hand side. Byron Crawford could have a trick here and use Paul Clark to pull himself past Lucas Dozer, which he does do. Crawford was quicker that time around by 7 tenths. And unfortunately for Dozer, he did manage to lose his position. These guys round 100 are battling side by side as this race keeps going on and on. Dozer's trying to make that move back past Byron Crawford again into turn 6. Is there going to be room left? There is, but can Dozer tighten up that inside line on this run down through 7, 8 and 9 now down into the right-hander of 10? Is this going to be where Dozer's just going to send it on him? Or is Byron Crawford going to send it on Paul Clark? Neither happens. So I presume both men are waiting for that long straight. So this is a freeway between Paul Clark, currently in 12th place. Then Lucas Dozer right behind him as well. Clark's run that very wide line into that last corner. Here we go. It's kind of the only one really under threat here is Paul Clark, because he's got the others that he's pulling along. And Crawford needs to stay with him as best as he can to try and open up that gap to Dozer, which he is visually doing on the track. You can see it there. Ooh, from Dozer's point of view, he's got to get a move on. David Waters is in the pits. Dozer on this run round 100R, tightens up the inside line a lot more. Round turn 6 he goes. Coming down into turn 10, he thinks twice about it there. Oh, he's got a slip on. Dozer had a slide going into 10. So quick through this wiggly section. Here we go. Can he make this stick now? Crawford's in the pits. Crawford has gone into the pits, so that's cleared the way for Lucas Dozer. David Waters has been in there for a good 2 minutes. Unless it's going straight to the end now, which is possible, I suppose. And now this is just Paul Clark trying to open up the gap from Lucas Dozer. This is your closest battle on track, as you can see. Lap times further ahead are all about 1 or 2 second difference. This one here is literally below 3 temps. Oh, Dozer's closed right up on the back of Clark. I'm waiting for that notification, you know, because I heard somebody slide going round that turn. That looked like David Rolliston may have had a moment for himself. Those have now gone up the inside of Paul Clark. I think Paul Clark let him through, really. Clark really had no need to try and fight that one. He's got the long straightaway that Dozer could pull him on. But if Dozer is visually quicker, you know, you've got to kind of say to yourself, do I really need to? You know, look at the lap time difference on the bottom of your screen. Dozer was slower on lap 24 and 25. 26, he was a second quicker, so this kind of wasn't really worth Paul Clark having a fight on that one. And that is Dozer through. I'm expecting him now to start making moves towards into the 4-second gap of currently David Rolliston in front of him. Dozer fastest lap 1:35.69 last time out, 1:34.83 altogether. So Lucas Dozer is quick. Gaps down to 4.2. You can see Rolliston down in front of us. Right. This is kind of the middle section we spoke about, guys, earlier on. This is where, you know, you go and fit a shelf or do your dinner or something, because this is really tough at the moment here. We're on lap 28. We've got 45 remaining. We've got Paul LeMay in the pits. He's obviously going to lose a place to Damien G. The pit stop cycle seems to be functioning through. David Waters is all the way down in 21st place after pitting on lap 24, but he has had a 2-minute pit stop. I'd keep an eye on the LeMay one to see how long roughly that's going to be. So I think from our perspective, Nia Gluskic here has got Byron Crawford behind him. Byron has pitted at about a minute long. So maybe for David Waters, he got damage repaired, because it looks like he just had an extra long pit stop. So here we go, Byron Crawford now behind Nia Gluskic. Garrett Truby's into the pits. Byron's on the left. He's going to be making this run down into turn 1. This is going to be Crawford through, I think, on Gluskic down into turn 1, unless Gluskic's going to hang him around the outside. He's not going to be doing that. And these guys have got the leader, Rudolf Nagel, behind him currently at the moment as well. So Rudolf Nagel in there with Nia Gluskic. Daniel Sedgley is a little bit further up the road. He's already passed them two and has now told Rudolf Nagel, your turn, son. I've been past these already. So, yeah, that is the situation for them one. As we're going in to lap 29. Gary Truby, David Waters, Sandra Capella. Waters is having a battle with Paul Clark. David Rolliston's in the pits here at the moment. He's coming from 13th overall. Third in class, was now down into 4th is Rollo. David Waters looking at taking the tighter line here around Paul Clark with lapping Sandra Capella. Can Waters make this one stick? I don't think he's going to be making this dive down into turn 10. I think he's going to be looking down that long straightaway from the last corner of 14 all the way down into 1. Got to just stay with him through this next section now. Oh, Clark left it late. Round the last corner they go, round turn 14. Clark tightened up that last corner. Oh, Waters over. I think Clark's going in. Clark is going into the pit, so that's going to make it a little bit easier for David Waters as he is through now and up into 20th place. But there are a stack of people in front of David Waters who haven't pitted yet. However, he is getting into the Niad. Gluskic hasn't. Byron Crawford, Paul LeMay have. Dennis Kiriakopoulos is now in the pits. Paul Clark and Michael LeMay. So whether or not David Waters will get there, David is coming round turn 4. These guys are currently going. Dennis Kiriakopoulos is out of the pits. Paul Clark is still in. Michael LeMay is still in. And David Waters is in there all the way down from turn 6. So he's not going to catch them, I don't think. And these guys should be able to come back out in front of David Walters, which is a shame, really, because Walters is now down 13th. You know, he qualified in 7th overall, and I think from his perspective, that's an absolute stellar job. And unfortunately for him, he's just dropped down the order. Mike Buson has now got Kettle Larson for company back up front again. Buson from Team Radline. Kettle Larson from IGL Coatings. So here we go. How is this going to pan out for these guys? Can Buson keep Larson behind him? I think that's going to be the important thing. Larson half a second. Mellis there as well. Up front is Paul Clark. Buson now coming up to lap everybody in 17th place. Damien G is in the pits. These guys should clear Damien. And possibly Graham Brown. Graham Brown is in there. Currently at the moment. So Kettle Larson and Mike Buson. If the pit cycle was started, I guess from our point of view, it's almost worth noting that others may be coming to join. Paul Clark behind has made his move over near Gluskick. Mike Buson's hung on to that position from Kettle Larson. Don't forget, obviously, they've got the blue flags situation. Now, you know I love a good blue flag debate here on the JPB channel. So give me your opinion on blue flags. I want to know, because some of you obviously do not know how my blue flag opinion is. It's a very strong opinion of please remove yourself out of the way. But blue flags here, go over 90 minutes. A lot can happen in this race. You won't have to let a car past immediately under blue flag in every circumstances. You get blue flags, let the car past, but you're allowed to try and get away from the car behind you for 2 laps. During these 2 laps, you are not allowed to fight for the position, and you are never allowed to hold up a driver faster while approaching for you. When you approach a car that you are a lap down, if the car is slower than you, you are allowed to overtake, but only in the safest way possible. Causing a crash when overtaking a car that you have been a lap down to will at least qualify you for a yellow card. When you get approached by a car that's a lap down, so from the driver in front, think about us being a community of fair drivers and let the driver past if he's clearly faster than you. To sum up, show some decency. And there you go, strong words there. In the rules and regulations of the Radical Sim Racing Endurance Series. Stefan Mellis is chasing down Damien G. Mike Buson is still got Kettle Larson behind him, and he's still chasing down Paul Clark. Oh, Paul runs very wide there. Not quite sure you had to remove yourself that way off the starting line, Paul, but he's allowed Mike and Kettle through. So Mike and Kettle Larson do clear now. David Walters has got himself back up to the back of Graham Brown. Here we go. These guys are coming up into the tricky left-hander of 6. ASAP let through. You're so freaking slow. They are passing you. Why not come to a dead stop if you have to let them go? What do you mean? Like, what are you saying? Like the blue car under the blue flag needs to be jumping out the way? Is that what you're saying? Larson and Buson on this run down into turn one. We just caught the end of that maneuver, and Larson is through. Larson is through this time as these guys go round turn one, now running around 100R. Oh, coming down into Coca-Cola corner, the left-hander, then go into 100R. Yes. All right, okay. Well, your rules and regulations don't state that. So, from a driver's point of view, are you saying you follow the rules and regulations of the league, though, yeah? Because that's not what the rules and regulations state. They don't say that it needs to be jumping out of the way. They say you are allowed to try and get away from the car behind for you for 2 laps. During these 2 laps, you are not allowed to fight for position, and you're never allowed to hold up a driver. And you won't have to let the car through. Potato Seagull, yo, he says in chat. Welcome in, thank you so much for joining us. So, yeah, you won't have to let the car pass immediately under blue flags in every circumstance. True, but if I'm going to get lapped, it just feels silly to even stay on the racing line. Yeah, you're very much the same as me, I think, Ivan, there, when we were talking about it, because at the end of the day, if I'm being lapped through whatever reason, so if I've had an accident, I'm never generally lapped if I'm slow, because I've never been in that position that I'm slow. I've always had some form of incident that's put me in the back, so either I've spun out or I've crashed or somebody's gone and smacked into the side of me or whatever. But I'm very much the same as you. I will look at this now and say, for instance, here in 8th and 9th, Guy Robinson. Okay, he's chasing down. Sandra Capella's about 11 seconds up the road. He's got Kiriakopoulos 1.6 behind, okay? So I would be looking, if I was either of these guys, I'm trying to find somebody who's actually got somebody from the different laps behind them. So Rollo here is currently on lap 33. Stephen Place, who's up on lap 34, so he's a lap ahead. So from Rollison's point of view, it's easier for me just to pull over and let Place go, right? But what I would do is use Place as a pull and try and draft my way with Place, because I think that's kind of where you really want to be. You don't want to be missing out too much. But let me know in chat and let me know what you think. Yeah, I am a man, no excuse for making it hard for the top drivers. Exactly. I think that's where they've got to be sensible. You've got to be sensible. It's easier just moving out the way than it is trying to hold somebody up. And, you know, David Waters is still having this battle with Graham Brown. David from the Tiger team, Graham Brown there. Ooh, job done from David Waters. Excellent manoeuvre, mind you. Excellent move from David Waters there. Goes round the outside of the chicane and gets the job done. So, stunning job there from David Waters. I'm expecting David Waters now to start pulling away. Exactly. Yeah, I think so too. We were talking about this in a different broadcast, and we were saying, would it be easier if everybody had the same rules as F1? You know, you got to get out of the way. Would that make it easier? Is there an interpretation there? These are SR10s, Potato. These are SR10s in iRacing. The SR10 come to iRacing 2 seasons ago. It replaced the original SR8. The SR8 was a car that was loved by many here from this series. And then they brought out the SR10. Completely different entity of a machine here for the SR10. I think at the end of the day, it's a completely different car. Not everybody loves it, and not everybody... Well, they still don't love it, some of the people. You know, it's running at 425 brake horsepower, but fully turbocharged with wire throttle turbocharger, custom Garrett turbocharger powertrain, 6-speed Hewland sequential transaxle chassis, weighs about 1,093. So not a lot. Fully adjustable Nick-Link suspension system, front and rear, unequal length top and bottom wishbones, lightweight fabricated upright length. Now the thing is with that as well, it's really, it's almost at times like a piece of cardboard. You know, Radical Motorsport set out to create a whole new niche in the world of motorsport, and I think that's the thing. Nothing compares. The company is involved to become the UK's largest producer of race and track cars, selling over 2,700 cars globally in the past 2 decades. The turbocharged SR10, which is what we're in now, that's the thing. It was launched in 2020 and headliners Radical's SR product range with a 425 brake horsepower, 380 pound-foot of torque for blistering performance, weighing just 725 kilos. Its power to weight ratio, that's the thing with this car. It makes it one of the most nimble and exhilarating machines imaginable. Utilised in numerous one make series around the world, there are plenty of places for real world drivers to develop their skills in the SR10 and put them to good use. So, you know, the car itself is a really good car. The problem is if you've never driven the SR8, you won't experience really what this SR10 is all about. And I think that's the important thing here. The SR10 is, there's no engine braking either through fear of blowing the thing up. You've got to wait for the car itself to drop down below 5,000 revs before you can change down. You can't engine brake. You've got to be gentle on the throttle. It's more of a tyre muncher than it is anything else. And also one of the things that it does have is a very snappy rear end if you don't get your setup right, and if you don't get your bias right. If you hit the brakes too hard, you're likely to have the back end trying to join the front. Kettle Larson's in the pits as well. Is this going to be another place for Stephen? Place to make up. Paul LeMay currently trying to chase down Damien G. This is the battle for 10th overall. You forgot it understeers like a boat. Well, there you go. I told you everything else apart from John McHutchison there coming in telling you that it understeers like a boat. You know, I tell you the good stuff. John just tells you the performance. John is an exceptional driver, Potato. So whatever John says about this car, I fully will believe because, yeah, he can do things in this car I only think about doing, which generally means me trying to do it and I end up in the wall. So, you know, hey. Dennis Kyrgiopoulos and Matheson. What can these guys do? Matheson's dropped down 5 from where he started. You know, poor Svenjung is just so tough. He's just not getting hooked up at the moment, and it's dropping him down the order. So, unfortunately for Svenjung there, it's really, really tough, and he's got to be trying to make his way back through. Can he? That's the question. Paul LeMay, Damien G. G there, hold off LeMay for the first in AMS. First in AMS is Damien G. Currently with Paul LeMay. We've got 29 minutes remaining. Daniel Sedgley, Rudolph Legal, Mike Pousson, Lucas Dozer have not pitted. Stephen Place is in the pits and he's currently sitting in 5th. Lucas Dozer has not, but has managed to climb up into the 4th. We know they've got to make a pit stop, as is Teo Satterberg, as also is Stefan Mellis, who's not pitted as well. That's why they're sitting where they are currently at the moment. I'm expecting them positions to change. Especially with Teo, he was a long way back. Even if he makes his pit stop, he's going to be further back, I think. And that isn't any disrespect. It's kind of just being truthful and honest that, you know, he was a long way back. So there you go. Yeah, then tries to swap ends. Yeah, that's what I said under braking. The front wheel just magically decide that it wants to come. The back wheel decide that it wants to come and join the front. And I think from that perspective, it's really ununderstandable. Like, I can't understand why it wants to do that. Like, you know, you can tap the brakes 1 minute and you can do the same thing for 30 or 40 laps and it will respond exactly the same way. And then on lap 41, you're in a wall doing the same thing you were doing 20 laps ago. It is such a bizarre car sometimes. And I think I can see why people don't like it, and I can see why I'm not a lover of it. Not a lover of it. Nia Gluskick is in the pits. Gary Truby here. Just been passed by Daniel Sedgley, and also got Kira Koplis behind him. So, yeah, unfortunately for Damien G, he's left the door wide open. Well done. See, there you go. That does sound fun to drive. Yeah, it is. It is fun to drive. We can take you on a lap with our leader, Daniel Sedgley. Look, if you want to see what we're talking about, here is Daniel Sedgley, and we're getting to take you on a lap around here at Fuji. So we've got you're running 6 gears. You'll be probably maxing out here round about 170 miles an hour, maybe 173 before you got to get on the brakes at the end. He's hit 176, so there you go, straight the way down, and he's turned, and as you can see there, he's half a lock, and he's around turn 1, and then off we go on this run out of turn 2 up into Coca-Cola corner on the left-hand side. Again, you're going to be gentle on the brakes here, get the car lined up, turn it, wait for it to settle, and away we go again on this run down through 6, 7, 8, and 9. Round 100R, sorry, in turn 3 and 4. Into turn 6 we go now. Again, half a lock, trying to get the car to turn round. And then Daniel Sedgley's on his run round 6, 7, 8, 9, and then into 10. And, well, it's here you'll notice the fact that there's not a lot going on. Daniel Sedgley will kind of try and full lock this car. Goes one way, manages to get it hooked through. On the accelerator we go, and then around through turn 11. Slide it on as well, you can hear it. 12, 13, he's got to get it turned. Waits, get on the gas. And away goes Daniel Sedgley around for the final turn there. And away he goes. It doesn't like turning. This car doesn't like to try and turn. It more kind of wants to be able to kill you, as we see Daniel Sedgley pilling his way into the pits. I need to try iRacing. You should. It is a good game. So you should definitely go and check it out. Rudolf Nagel, is he going to be going in? He's not. He's going around one more time. So Rudolf not pitting. Is Mike Buson going to be pitting here as he comes around battling Byron Crawford? Well, not battling. He's going to be lapping Byron Crawford. Mike going to go again. Yes, he is. What about Lucas Dozer? Dozer's in that tricky section of 11 and 12, so I'm not really seeing him going to affect, I think, up front of Mike Buson. I'm not really expecting that either. Got good arm work out to turn it. Good arm work out to turn it. Help. Good arm work out. Good. Not sure on that one, mate. Try that again for me. As we see Lucas Dozer go through as well there. Sedgley is out and he's in third place. He's got Paul Clark in front of him currently at the moment. So the cars are very spread out, aren't they? Gaps all over the place. Obviously, Mike and also Rudolf Nagel are not in the pits yet. Rudolf Nagel there with Stephen Place in front of him. So this is Rudolf lapping everybody up until 8th. Wow. Arm workout, James. Direct drive. Oh! Thank you, John. I got you. Yeah, it is. So we see Rudolf Nagel peeling off to go into the pits. What is Buson going to be? Sorry, John, I didn't get that for a minute. I was sat here for ages. Buson's peeled to the left-hand side as well. Buson's going to be looking at going in this time around. Now, where is Sedgley? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't really entirely get what you were going on about. So Daniel Sedgley is going to be retaking the lead. The question is how long is this gap going to be? Nagel has got about another 30 seconds in the pits. Mike Buson's also now currently got about 30 seconds left as well. So Daniel Sedgley and there leads us away and has gone back into lead. The question is how long a gap is he going to have? Lucas Dozer is going to go again. Still no pit stop from Lucas. I'm sure with 22 minutes remaining, he's going to have to take one. It is a good arm workout, this car, yeah. And he's got Rudolf Legal right behind him. The gap up front, 14.3 seconds. Daniel Sedgley is just absolute beast. Yeah, Mike still in the pits. Is Mike going to get out before Kiriakopoulos? There goes Buson. There is Kiriakopoulos, and that should be Buson staying out in 5th place. He's now got, though, we'll wait for the gap to settle down, but I think in about a 13-second gap to Kettle Larson in front. Yeah, all right, John. All right, all right. Yeah, yeah. So, Mike Buson there. 12 seconds behind and about 14 seconds back. So, Mike got a long way to go. Hey, I'm old. Leave me alone. I've had a busy weekend, John. Don't harass me this evening. It has been a manic weekend here for tonight, guys. Don't you forget as well, we got a lot of action coming up this week. In fact, there's so much action going on. So you just make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you are hit the thumbs up and make sure you do turn on the bells, because trust me, you're not going to want to miss any of the action this week. So we've got that has actually changed now. The early one on Tuesday, that's changed due to a clash. So we've got the UK sim races from Mid-Ohio. They're on the MX-5s. They'll be off and up and running tomorrow night, round about 10 to 8 in the evening. Then we've got the Next Gen GT3s. They're racing at Montreal. That's also going off at 8 o'clock in the evening as well. That would be a sprint race and a reverse grid for the feature. So there's a 1 hour feature and a 15-minute sprint race. Then we've got the RRS on Thursday. That's taking place from Road America. Also at the same time of that, the RRS will go off around about 10 to 9 in the evening. But before that, at about 8 o'clock, you've got the Crest Autosport World Touring Car Challenge. That kicks off tomorrow as well. So there'll be 2 broadcasts on tomorrow night here on the JPB YouTube channel, so you can definitely go and check them out. And then we've got the European Sprints and with the AMs and Pros on Friday, and then we've got the Americas Saturday morning. Now this is the interesting thing. Saturday evening we've got the UTC, which is the United Touring Car Championship. That's taking place round 5 and 6 this week. And that's kicking off around about 8 o'clock in the evening as well. So most things do kind of take part around about 8 o'clock. And that one, currently, at the moment, we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to Donington Park National Circuit for the UTC. And then me and Michael David are doing the very last finale of the 100% Cup Series live from Phoenix 310 Race Oval. Now, we did Martinsville yesterday, and basically I saw 2 1 o'clock in the mornings. We started the broadcast at 1 a.m. Clocks went back at 2 to 1, so I lost an hour, and then I went forward again and got finished in the end about basically at 3:30, 4:45, which roughly would have been about 4:45. We saw 29 cautions last night at Martinsville in the 100% Cup Series Oval. So if you want a long race, you should go and have a look at that, the 100% Cup Series Oval there as well. Paul LeMay and Damien G are battling out on track. This is one of your closest battles here this evening. Paul LeMay on the right-hand side, G on the inside as these guys go around the last turn. Turn 14 on this run down into turn 1. I'm getting my first DD wheel soon. Nice. What one you getting, Potato? As we're going down now, Paul LeMay locked up right behind Damien G. He's going to pull out on the left-hand side. Here goes LeMay now. Can this be the lead of the AMs for Paul LeMay? Where is Damien G? There he is. Damien G's fighting him on the outside. Can he make it down into turn 1? Here we go. G's trying to ride out the outside line. I think LeMay's going to get it. He squeezed G out. And unfortunately for Damien G, there was nowhere to go. G there left, unfortunately, behind LeMay now. And LeMay has taken the lead in the AMs on lap 46 with 18 minutes to go. And I don't think this battle is over and done with. So don't go anywhere currently at the moment, because trust me, this battle is only going to get spicier as Damien G tries to stick with Paul LeMay here currently on lap 46 with 18 minutes remaining of this hour and a half endurance sprint race, really, I think we could call it. So, yeah, we've got about 17 minutes left. So this is your battle for hams. Oh, for Paul LeMay, that's going to be a hardship. He's got Gary Truby, teammate of Damien G, in front of him, Team BSR. Truby lets them through. I thought he could have played a massive part there, could Gary Truby. He could have absolutely held up Paul LeMay like an absolute trooper. But he didn't. He jumped out of the way, so fair play to Gary Truby. Would you have done the same, though, chat? That's the question. Let me know. And would you have done the same thing? Because at the end of the day, you are teammates, but you're really helping out your teammates. So there you go. Don't forget, guys, you can hit me up over on Twitter and over on Insta as well. We have broken JPB Broadcasting, broke into the wonderful world of Instagram. Not that I know how to work it. I'm still trying to figure it out, but there you go. Damien G, but he's no Perez. I would have. I think if I was coming through, Ivan, and you were in front, or you were behind me, no, yeah, if I was coming through to lap you, and there was a car in the middle that I was chasing, I'd want to help. I'd want you to hold him up. Because at the end of the day, why wouldn't you? You know, we're teammates. We're, you know, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. We're Hamilton and Russell. We're Vettel and Mark Webber. We're, you know, Alonso. Actually, no, can't really say Alonso. He doesn't really work with teammates. However, Alonso did do a stellar job on Hamilton to hold up for Esteban Ocon to take that victory. So fair play to Alonso, you know what I mean? That was absolutely incredible drive. That was probably one of the best drives I've seen in defensive terms that Alonso did on Hamilton there. Absolutely incredible. Yeah, you could, yeah, I would expect you to hold him up. Right, LeMay has got tightened up. Oh, that was G's opportunity there. And I'm going to say why it was, because of the fact that LeMay really tightened up turn 14. It could have been G's opportunity. If he ran his normal line wide, he would have had that opportunity to try and cut back on him. And get a better line out, but he didn't. So if G had run his normal line there, so he might have been able to get it. But yeah, Sergio O'Neill had a yeah, but you know, we'll discuss that. Matheson has got himself involved in a little incident. He has had to jump back into the pits. Let's see what happened here to Sven Young. Turn 14. Oh no, it's 11 and 12. Oh, Matheson is having an awful evening for the guys at Slow-Mo. Absolute awful evening for him. Poor Sven Young there, not doing so well. Back in LeMay and G. They're going around 11 and 12 currently at the moment. Oh, G's got a better run. Is he going to run him around the outside? Coming round into 14. Run your line. G's just got to run his line. LeMay's tightened it up. Here we go. This could be the opportunity that G needs. G right up at the back of Paul LeMay. He's pulled out on the left-hand side. He's not taking it. The side-by-side into turn one, I don't get it. It looked like G was holding off. G's now surely going to be looking at the inside of turn 3. LeMay's going to let him go. LeMay's not going to let him go. That was so bizarre. Oh, well, have a look at that. I've got a funny feeling Damien G passed LeMay and then lifted. Yeah, he allows LeMay to take his line. Could he have been a little bit more firmer? That's the question. Is the R5 any good? To be honest, Potato, I can't answer that. I literally drive on a G920, mate. So, you know, and even then, it's got more dust on it than it has actually had running life. So, you know, I should probably give it to my son, but, you know, don't tell him that, otherwise he'll be driving me crazy, constantly asking me. G and now May, battle of the AM final. This is your closest one. Daniel Sedgley's still out in front, guys, by about 18 seconds. Then there's a 12-second gap from Rudolf Nagel to Kettle Larson. Then there's a 20-second back from Lawson to Buson. 10 seconds from Buson to Kiriakopoulos. Dozo is closed on to Kiriakopoulos, so maybe that might be an opportunity for them to go with Lucas Dozo, but that's not going to happen as of yet. But this one is running now. So Damien G and Paul LeMay going again. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Dennis Kiriakopoulos down into turn 10, literally just after we... That's where we were talking about with the SR10, Potato. That's exactly what we were talking about. For no reason, on lap 50, Mr. Kiriakopoulos, who has done the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, as we can see David Rolliston and Paul Clark having his absolutely instrumental battle as they go round turn 6, has done the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, locks up and goes at the back. Yeah, he locks up, and unfortunately the back end comes round on the SR10, which is exactly what we were talking about. But Rollo, Clark and Nagel is trying to fight through. These are back markers, but these guys are fighting at the same time. That's where the different perspective, Ivan, is. Do you now let Nagel through, or do you fight for your place in front of you? What do you do? No kidding, Jesus. Exactly. That's what I said. Right. Okay, Nagel, be careful, otherwise this is going to go completely wrong. Rudolf Nagel there. He needs to really kind of use these guys like a chicane almost. Go on the outside. Paul Clark's got to be looking to defend it now, because if he doesn't, he's going to lose another place to David Rolliston, which he did do, and they're going to come to contact. Oh! He didn't get the door shut soon enough. Oh, there's been another one as well. There's been another one. Buson all on his own. Watch, he didn't get the door closed. Rollo coming, Clark had already lost it really, but Rollo... I don't really know where I would call that right, and the reason is here. So we'll watch it under. Look. Pip the blame. You can't. Poor Clark. Yeah, I don't really know which way that would go. He let the gal through and then the gap even, I can't really see whether or not the door closed on him or not. Oh, no way. No way. This is Svenja Mattheson. Watch. He goes round there, but watch what happens on his pit entry. He goes into the pits not long after this. We're going to follow this because I've got a funny feeling something's happened on his entry into the pit lane. Matheson's going into the pits. Okay, so he goes through. Was that on exit that he did that? I can't work out if that's exit or entry he's done that, but he's gone again on the way into the pits. It looks like it was on entry. So, yeah, it was entry, but I need to find where that was. Because it looks like he's gone round on pit entry. The first one. This one. Did you go round here? No, you didn't go round that one. Or are we saying your first actual pit stop? Now you're asking a question now, because I've got to go shifting through where it's happened. Was it here? I'm trying to find something, guys. You'll understand what I mean. Yeah, it's too fast, too fast. On entry to the pits, Sven-Jan Mathiesen is just too fast on himself. Racing into the pit lane at 100 miles an hour. And takes a spin. Oh dear, brother. Poor Sven-Jan. No wonder you binned it off. Right, Damien G now. Still fighting with Paul Lemay. G past Lemay, Lemay past G, G past Lemay, Lemay past G, and G past Lemay. We'll keep an eye on that one now. Drift points there, no damage, lucky enough. Oh, darn. So these guys are coming back down now, round on to turn 14 from 13. Damien G and Paul Lemay, they look like they've been having an absolute barnstorming battle. Uh, 4 minutes on the clock. Here they go again. The battle for the AM lead. Oh, LeMay's going to be taking him on the outside now. Here we go. G's got 4 minutes left on the clock. Where is LeMay? Where is G? They're there. Please don't hit each other. You've done so well. They're going to be side by side on the run round to turn 3. That's going to be LeMay through. For how long is going to be the question, mind you. For how long will be the question, because G's not giving up. Damien G has not given up here. This is going to be the battle down into the line. So hopefully we will be able to get this one 3:20 on the clock. 3 minutes 20 seconds on the clock. Right, Damien G's gone up the inside of Paul Lemay. These guys are fighting around turn 14. Daniel says he's going to come across the line he's already crossed the line. There goes Sedgley with 2:41, so there's going to be one and one more. One and one more. 2:29 on the clock now. Damien G and Paul LeMay. G's dropped out to about 3/10. Damien G. 2:13. Daniel Sedgley's coming round 100. Oh, he's going to be your victor, I think, this evening. And that's not me being disrespectful, but he has got a 23-second gap. Daniel Sedgley, Rudolf Nagel, and Larson probably in that order. Here we go. Round, these guys go round 11 and 12. Daniel Sedgley's going to be on starting the last lap of the race very, very shortly. Here goes Daniel Sedgley, 1:12 on the clock. This is going to be the final lap, lap 56. White flag's out, Barney's waving, lap 57 we go. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Damien G. Last lap. Oh, there was contact with LeMay. Oh, Damien G there. Contact with LeMay. Oh, it's dropped it down the order. Daniel Sedgley out in front. He's running round down into turn 10. That's a shame because them guys were flying. So unlucky. Damien G and Paul LeMay. Daniel Sedgley now led from, well, from the green to the checkers. Absolutely, what a dominant display here from Daniel Sedgley. I tell you what, be scared going into Monza, boys, because Sedgley here has done an absolute amazing job. Across the line he goes. Daniel Sedgley is your victor. Now, if I was Graham Brown, I would have slowed down, so I did have to do one more lap. Unfortunately for Graham, he didn't quite slow down enough. Rudolf Nagel comes across in second place. So, a good one there. May and Crawford finished. G's finished as well. Rudolf Nagel in second. Two in the arms, May, Crawford and G. So Paul LeMay, Byron Crawford, Damien G are your arms. 1, 2, 3. Kettle Larson coming across the line in third place. Mike Pousson in fourth. Up one position on his grid, so that's amazing for him, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get on it tonight. Pousson steady and Dozer needed another 30 minutes to get back. Yeah, Lucas Dozer. He's a 6-second back at the moment, so it was a bit hard. He needed that time, but I don't think he would have made it anywhere near Sedgley. That's without a shadow of a doubt. So, May. All right. Pousson goes across, so does Dozer, so does Kyrgiakopoulos. Here's Stephen Place, the biggest gainer today, up 15 places. What a barnstorming race from Stephen Place. 15 places, incredible. There's Graham Brown. Here comes Paul LeMay. Brown is down in 17th. Brown didn't quite slow down enough. I would have literally hit the brakes, so I did have to go around once again, but he didn't. So there we go. Wow, incredible race here this evening, and the results are in. And let's bring you up all the results here from tonight's race. Daniel Sedgley is the winner of the pros by 24 seconds. Dominated. Absolutely dominated. Rudolf Nagel in second, Kettle Larsen in third, Mike Buson in fourth, Lucas Dozer fifth, Dennis Kiriakopoulos in sixth, Stephen Place in seventh. Paul LeMay, eighth overall, is your winner in the AMS. Had that amazing battle with Damien G, and before they come to contact on the penultimate lap as well in turn 14, so unfortunate for them guys, but they had an amazing battle. Byron Crawford sneaked second in the end, Damien G was third. Taya Sattenberg, a bit of a rough night for him, down in 11th, not really ideal, but unfortunately he managed his 11th overall. David Rollison 12th overall, David Waters 13th, Paul Clark 14th, Guy Robinson 15th, Michael LeMay down in 16th, Graham Brown 17th, and Gary Truby down in 18th place. Beyond that, we have got Stefan Mellis there down 2 laps. Sven-Jan Mathiesen, who, well, as we know, put himself out and spun in the pit lane. On entry, Sandra Capella below that as well in 21st, and Nia Gluskic in 20th. So what an absolute incredible race this evening, guys. I think you will agree. Okay, so you're not going to like that. Please stop. Okay, cool. So obviously the doesn't quite want to go back that far, but we've got Kettle Larsen waiting in the pits in the booth for us. Let's bring Kettle in. Obviously, Kettle, you are live. Please don't swear. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Not too bad. Steady race overall. Incident with Lucas Dozer. Any sort of explanation on that one?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the replay yet. Just watched it barely. So I'm on the inside, so I think he turns into me. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, I messed up the start. So I spun the tires in the start, so I lost a lot of places. So just try to keep it steady and keep a good pace, and yeah, it paid off.
Well, you got third place, mate. That's not too bad. We go on to Monza in 2 weeks' time. That's a different kettle of fish altogether, isn't it, really?
Oh, yeah. I haven't tried that track either with this car, so I think it should be fun.
Mm. Well, Henning Hakes is well done to you in chat.
Yeah, thank you.
So there we go, onwards and upwards. Kel, congratulations on your third place this evening. Is there anyone you want to give a big shout out to before you leave the booth?
Yeah, of course, my team, IGL Coatings, Sande Trafikkskole, Lasse made an awesome setup for me today. Birgir helped me spotting, and my family and everyone involved. And you guys, of course.
Thank you very much for that, Kel, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week in Monza. Oh, in 2 weeks' time, sorry, in Monza.
Okay, yeah.
Right, let's bring in the man who loves a good old chat with me. He ran out of fuel in a race. He's managed to get fourth today. No fuel issues for this man. Can only be the one and only Mike Buson. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Good evening. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Fourth place, mate.
Yeah. Disappointing because it was tough to get to the grid tonight. As you mentioned to me about early on in the week about my launch problems, worked out what that was. Still had it in SR8 clutch profile, didn't I?
Right.
So sorted that problem out. Fuel, not enough in the week. 3 spare litres in the tank tonight. Not quite sure my maths is my strong point.
No, see, and you're refusing to use Crew Chief. That's what I don't understand. Crew Chief does it all.
I'm going to do it now. I can't take this risk any longer.
No, and then you lost it as well and spun in turn 6.
Yeah, when I said it was hard getting to the grid, you probably wouldn't have seen it, but I barely got a quality lap in because I sort of lost downshift, but figured out what it was. The screws come loose on the downshift, so every lap I'm pushing it back to try and so I've got shift. Kept going a bit deep. So, well, it's been a bad week, but that's not a bad result.
No, fourth overall, mate. Look, some people didn't finish. You know what I mean? So the fact that you kept it on the black stuff is fine. The fact that you didn't run out of fuel is fine. Yeah, you may have been carrying a little bit more than you need. I will say, though, when setting up crew chief, mate, make sure you set the extra on top of that. So whether it be half a lap or a lap extra, because otherwise they do run you quite thin sometimes. So there you go. But overall then, Mike, absolutely stellar job from you, sir. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before you leave the booth this evening?
No, I'll leave you hanging tonight.
How rude. Right, boost on, you bully. No worries, buddy. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Have a good, well, I'm going to go and watch the F1 now, so I will do that. Catch you soon.
All right, mate, you take care.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. Right, guys, so if you're staring at a black screen now, it's because the session has finished and it's literally kicked me out, so unfortunately you can see what you can see on screen currently at the moment. So well done to everybody this evening. Absolutely stellar job. Daniel says he dominated it. Rudolf Nagel couldn't get near him. Kettle Larson, Instant with Lucas Dozer. Dozer dropped down the field. Larson managed to stayed in and finishing third overall in the AMS. Paul LeMay, Damien G battling all the way through. Absolutely stellar job from them guys. Didn't quite go to plan on turn 14 when Damien G looked like he was going up the other side and Paul LeMay looked like he come across. Didn't get a real good shot of it, but that's unfortunately what happened to them two guys. And Damien G finishes down in third place. Onwards and upwards in 2 weeks, time, guys. We head off into Monza, so make sure you stay tuned for that one, and we will be back on Tuesday night with the UK Sim Racers. Don't forget as well, if you are here for the first time, subscribe, like, and turn on the bells because you're not going to want to miss any of the action. So, guys, from all that's left for me to say is I've been James Parfitt. You all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.